Hi, it's me, Leandra of Leandraws, and today I'm just going to show you how I do the kind of the basic background I'm always using. I wouldn't say basic, but something I always use in my comics are the little glow backgrounds I do. So this will just be a quick tutorial on how I kind of achieve this glow effect. So I'm just going to try to recreate this, and this is mainly just focused on the background, so I'm just going to hide all the background layers, and we're just going to rebuild them. See stars and my glow. I think that's everything. Alright, I think everything's hidden. Alright, so I usually start, I think what we're going to do is, I don't usually name my layers, but I'm going to try to. So this is going to be our test floor. Okay. Alright. So starting off, I use the watercolor wash tool for basically everything that I do. Let's show it in the list. It's right here under watercolor buildup and then watercolor salt. I always use watercolor wash because when I find something I like, I usually stick with it, and watercolor wash is my go-to. So this is what we're going to use for the just laying down the colors of the background. I also have everything laid out here in my palette list because I have a lot of colors I have to go through. So remember to use your swatches so that you can reference all your colors later. All right. Okay, so let's first just lay out the floor and the wall. So we actually use the same color for the floor and the wall. The way I do this is I adjust the opacity to be the lowest that it would give me. I'm going to go with 40. Also going to make this a little bit bigger so it doesn't take as long. And just kind of paint. Because this was a panel, so I usually left like some of the edge off. There's the floor. And then this one. I like to make it a little messy because it looks more like, you know, less. I don't like things to be too perfect. So there's that. And build up a little bit so that it has a little bit of shadow to it. Okay. Lightly brush it. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna add the little rug. Here we go, Mr. Rug. And that's why I like this watercolor brush, because it's just like you can build up the levels on it. And then add a little shadow behind her. Okay. Now we're going to do the background with the stars and stuff. Okay. Again, I'm using the same color. I think it was a bit deeper here. So let's see if I can get that. So let me adjust it maybe to about 77. Yeah, that's good. Alright, and then you just kind of lightly go in. Is that it? Let's see. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Make my brush a bit bigger. And then just brush away. So I'll fill it up to the top since this isn't a panel necessarily. And I'm gonna have to go in and clean up around the stars, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just do all that. Oops. It's one thing you have to do is you have to do it continuously, otherwise it'll add more to it. But to keep you from having to see that again, this is basically what we'd end up with after I cleaned up, because I would go in and have to erase each line. And I usually use the to erase, I usually use the tolerance and the magic wand tool to kind of get in. So let's say that my background had colored in here for that side. I'll just go in and say, hey, let's get that back. There you go. So yeah, I just kind of cut out. It's kind of like, yeah, I cut out the cleanup, and then I know for the star, because my lines were really thin, I just had to go in with my eraser tool and erase some of the blue that way. So as you see, I had to like go in and do it that way around the symbol. This one's a little hard because I have this symbol here, but that's right. That's not really the main focus of this tutorial, so I'm just gonna go with this one just to show you. Okay, so there's our background. Okay, so now we're going to add the elements for the stars. Now let's make our star layer. This is kind of what I went with last time. I don't know if maybe it's a little bit too many stars. I use this in the comic all the time, but anyway. So I think also in this layer, I colored in the stars because these stars are supposed to be dimmed out because of the concept of the story. These are the guardians who have been put to sleep. So these are also colored in. I just used the I also used the tolerance tool to just fill them in with this basic background color so they were faded. But we're going to do that again. So let's make some stars. And also make sure you're in front of the background, otherwise they'll be like blued out. So stars. Okay. So for this I use a brush I downloaded. I need to find, I believe it was in a brush pack of a lot of stars. I think I got from a tutorial on Toot Plus. I gotta find the source, so I'll provide that with you a little bit later, just in case you want to use it. But yeah, I'm just going to, you know, make some stars. Then I kind of adjust like how I do them. Just make it pretty. Then I usually like adjust the size because I have a lot of different ones. So there's this one. And I usually try to erase some of them so it doesn't look like, oh, you just did a whole bunch of brushes, what are you doing? So let's try to erase, use a soft erase tool. So it's not as unnatural. You want it to look like a natural organic star field. So I erase some of them. Add some more. I think I have some more that one and that one. Those are more like constellation looks. But yeah, these are my main ones. And then if I want to add like something extra sparkly, I have, where's my little flare star? I would add like the little sparkle brushes here that I have. Let's see, hold on, my computer's acting funny. Come on, where are you? Come on. Okay, there they go. Okay, so yeah, I would use like my little, these also I download, I think these come with the program. I believe so. Yes, okay. So I use sometimes like smaller star effects to make it look, you know, a bit more sparkled. Maybe add this one. Something you really can't see far away, but close up. See? Makes it cute close up. Alright, so there's some stars. Now we're going to make it all pretty and glowy. So we're going to basically recreate these. Now these are little gradient spheres. So I'm going to make this later one of our glow layers. Glow. I'd use 3 different ones because sometimes I feel like if I mess up, I don't want to lose one effect. So, but for the test though, I'm going to close test. I'm going to use it all on one layer because I trust this now. All right, so first I'm going to make my, oh, I forgot to color in my stars there. Okay, I'm gonna color in my stars real quick. Oops, not those stars, these stars. Okay, so I gotta remember to color these. I actually wanna, what you do is you shift select everything. That way I don't have to do it one by one. And then I think I might change my tool to be, let's see. Okay, like that, that, there's that, and that, and that, there's that. Okay, I think we got our stars there. All right, yeah. So yeah, and basically I wanted these to have a bit more vibrant so that they weren't soaked into the background. That's why I did that. That way it's like, okay, you can see that there's still stars that are not being absorbed into the background. Okay, so we got that. Now let's get to the glow. So now we're going to make our little glow gradients. So the way I made this one, these are commonly used colors I use from my palette that I did to create basically the, I guess, the essence of Dreamers Only, which is a lot of golds and pinks and purples. So that's this gradient I've created here. And I've left it empty here because the way it works is if you leave this here basically off, it makes the glow more of a individual aspect instead of the entire screen. But let me just show you the difference when you add this one. So I'm going to add this, make its opacity 100. I'm just going to show you what happens if I were to do that. So we're selecting this little sphere. And no, that's not what we want. And also you can adjust the opacity here, but if I didn't have it at 64, basically this would be this. So well, that's not what we want at all for today. I mean, if you want to do that, that's cool, but that's not what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna go back, go to our range, make that 0, so that now what we have is a little sphere. And to make it that glow that we really want, we do overlay, and there we go. and then you just adjust it so it has like different ranges. So you want smaller glow, make the opacity a little lighter. Also adjust it onto the star so the star itself glows. I usually do multiples so that it has a level of it. And they look like little, I always say they look like little spirits, little spiritual star glows in a room. And basically I like how this looks against that watercolor because it has like a fantasy, supernatural sort of look to it. But yeah, that's it. I usually make the stars, these stars glow too. Just add like more random. Yep, and that's it. And there's our little star room. Sometimes I go overboard, but I feel like you can never be too sparkly, but in my case sometimes I'm a little bit extra. But yeah, so that's what I did there. I believe, did I add for the symbol? Let me go back. Let me just make sure I'm not leaving anything off. So yeah, I know for the symbol, for this one, I believe I added, I just made 2 different layers for my glow, but yeah, for the symbol, I just went and added more and more glow layers. But yeah, so, and there we go. That's just kind of basically how I do a background for my comics. I'll get a little bit more detailed a little later. I just wanted to show you how I do like this one because I know a lot of people like the glowy backgrounds. But yeah, there you go. So thanks for watching, and I'll try to do different ones in the future, maybe. So thanks. Love you. Bye.